everybody, and welcome back to the basketball edition of the Huddle. I'm Ruth Lang here with sports editor Mike Brown, and we're here to update you on some basketball action. Starting a little slow, I guess, in the season for the girls and for the boys, but so far for the girls, we're seeing Louisville and Minerva seem to be doing really well in their games. Louisville beat Marlington after Marlington took a victory over Fairless on Monday, and then Minerva turned around and beat Marlington. And I believe Minerva's still undefeated. Is that correct?
That's right, Ruth. And Minerva's coming off a win over Canton South on Wednesday night, and they're having a really good year. They've got, Bree Gassman has led them in scoring in a lot of their games, and they've got some other real good players. Chaddock is a really good player for them. And Louisville girls have a lot of experience back this year, so their success is no surprise to us because, I'm pretty sure they did not have an upperclassman on their team last year. So their entire team came back this year, and they've got a lot of talent. They've got some size, and they're going to have a real good winter in basketball.
West Branch beat Salem, coming off a loss to Carrollton. Alliance also couldn't contend with Carrollton. That's a team with a lot of height there. And low scoring game for both Alliance and West Branch when they played against Carrollton.
Right, and Carrollton's probably got, along with Louisville and Minerva, probably the favorite to win the NBC in girls basketball this winter. They've got some really good players coming back at Carrollton, and they've been blasting a lot of teams. They haven't had that many close games yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how the second round of the NBC action plays out. But Carrollton and Louisville have to play yet at the end of the first round. That'll be a good. Both their meetings this year will be really good meetings.
Sure. Another low-scoring game recently was the Sebring girls. They lost to United, and they only had about 3 people score all the points for that game. That was a low-scoring game for Sebring.
Right, and they've got 2 players who are 4-year starters, are really good players for them, and Sydney Smith and Murphy Flowers, and very good players. I think that's just going to be a work in progress this year as some of the other players around them get more experience, and I think they'll get better and better as the season goes on.
Sure. Switching now to boys action, Louisville beat Massillon and also rolled West Branch on Friday night. Then Alliance beat Minerva 66-29. So we're seeing a lot of success in Alliance locally.
We sure are. Alliance and Louisville probably have the best boys teams in the area this winter. Alliance is kind of like the other situation we were talking about with the Louisville girls. Alliance was very young last year in boys. The entire team comes back, and they're rolling. They're playing really well. They've had a lot of guys stepping up for them. J. Ron Brackett is one of our former athletes of the week already this winter. He's had a really good winter so far for the Aviators. And Louisville has everything. They've got a really tall team with Drew Noble, who's a big center for them. They've got a lot of other height, and Louisville plays a really tough schedule this winter. They play St. Ignatius and they play Massillon. They're coming off that win over Massillon at Massillon on Tuesday night, which is a good win for them.
Marlington lost to Tuslaw and also to Canton South, so they're coming off a couple of losses, and they're going to be hungry this weekend going into action. Sebring also bounced back from a 2-point loss against Mineral Ridge to take a really strong win over United on Tuesday, and just good shooting, just solid shooting.
That's right, and they've got a lot of different guys. Sebring's got like 3 or 4 guys that can score in double figures on any given night. Robbie Rouse is one of their leaders through all their early games so far, but they've got some other guys who are really good basketball players, and I look for Sebring to have a very good winter in boys basketball.
And again, we'll be there covering. Who do we have coming up this weekend?
Okay, Friday night in boys basketball. The big area game on Friday night will be Alliance at Louisville. I mean, those are probably the 2 best teams in boys basketball in the NBC this winter. That should be a great game. Marlington goes on the road to Minerva Friday evening. West Branch makes the trip down to Carroll County to play the Carrollton Warriors. Salem will be at Canton South. St. Thomas Aquinas goes on the road to Garfield Heights Trinity. East Palestine will be at United, and Waterloo will be at Lake Center Christian. And then on Saturday afternoon in girls basketball, the big area game Saturday afternoon will be Marlington at West Branch and a big NBC battle there. And other league action on Saturday, Ruth, Alliance goes to Salem. And then in other action, girls basketball action Saturday, St. Thomas Aquinas goes to Youngstown Christian. Minerva will be at Louisville, and East Liverpool will be at United to face the Golden Eagles.
And again, we'll be covering that for the Alliance Review newspaper and our online editions as well as our Twitter feed. So follow us there at All Rev Sports and check us out online at thereview.com. And until next week, we'll see you on the court.